Hey there, my name's Renee Prince. I'm a clinical herbalist and a traditional healer, and I was born and raised in Florida and in the tropics and specialize in that. And now I live in the Blue Ridge near Asheville, and I'm in the middle of that natural disaster. And I'm posting because people ask me to give them updates, and I haven't posted in a while. We needed a break, and it's just been really super difficult. But it's time that I have to say something. The first thing is you guys did an extraordinary job getting us the supplies that we needed and supporting us personally to continue what we're doing. The temperature has dropped officially. We had some cold spells a couple weeks ago, but now it's like critical mass for that. And so I thought I needed to reach out and have a conversation with everyone. The first thing is things are getting better. Definitely for those people that are saying that things are getting better in those areas, they are. And I don't want to take away from that really super good news and us being able to do that outreach. But for the places that it's not getting better at, it's disastrous. And so our critical care right now is for the people who are still not homed in permanent dwellings or any dwellings. We did outreach on Sunday that involved people who didn't even have tents. And so the idea that we definitely have an ask that's coming when it comes to some of those supplies. And so we'll talk about that in a second. Plus I'll leave a list and I'll post a new list when we're done. What I want to really have everyone think about is don't forget that this is happening. And I think it's a global consciousness that has to be dealt with. One of the things that I did today, which was really difficult because it was a privilege, but it was also difficult because I feel like I should be working. I feel like I should be helping more. Is I went and did some like a walk in the woods away from the area because it's hard to breathe, and talked about resilience because the plant that jumped out at me was usnea, and that's one of the recordings I did, and I'll post that in a little bit. But the idea of resilience, we have to remember resilience. Like that's the theme of the day. And we are resilient and the earth is resilient. And what we don't remember, or we've chosen to forget, or it's just easier to separate, is that we're not separate and that we're part of a kingdom that is the same. So our plants and our earth and our water and our insects and our animals and each other, we are one. So if we don't reach out, even if it's just having a verbal conversation, like I'm not asking you necessarily to give a resource you don't have, but if we don't think of the entire environment and all the people in it as a extension of our own family, we're not going to make the big changes that are needed, and that you're affected by that. That there are people who don't have water and don't have a tent and don't have a dwelling, and it's 19, 20, 25, 29 degrees, and it's not going to get easier that way. It doesn't matter how resilient we are. The resources it takes to keep your body warm during that time makes it so on your best days, it's just exhausting. So I want to encourage everybody to not forget that we need to have these people in our hearts and like talk about it and encourage people to reach out and help and to volunteer. And again, I will make a post and I'll write into this post about volunteer needs and supply needs. I can tell you right now, before I talk more about that concept, I can tell you we need tents, and more than just 2 people tents. We need tents that a family could get in as well. So we need tents, socks, wool socks, so that if we're getting wet, that way keeps like the snow out of the wet shoes, boots of any kind, and I can give you a place to send them, or you can send them to me and I'll distribute them, or I'll take them to like Beloved or one of the other major organizations and have them distribute it. But we're doing fine distributing them as well. We're working in conjunction with that and running supplies to whoever is missing them. So it's tents, heaters, solar chargers for like phones, socks, wool socks, boots. Can we think of, I'll make the list up for you guys. I think that feels like that's about right. Like I'll make a list that's a little bit longer than that. If not, I'll make sure it gets posted. But the tents, the wool socks, solar chargers, heaters, boots. That seems about right. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to make sure that you guys knew is we're not okay. We're okay. We're okay. Like in comparison. But I wanted to point out that we've all been sick to our stomachs. All of us been sick to our stomachs. We're covered in a head to toe rash. Our animals are very, very sick, and we're giving them bottled water, and we're washing everything that way. And we've been told by our local community, our governments here, that it's safe for us to use the water. And as we've babied ourselves back into it, can't breathe, sinus infections, rashes from head to toe, itching everywhere, sick to our stomachs, and we're taking all the precautions. Remember that we're working out so that we know, and it's something I've done my whole entire life, so I know what to do. Not only that, I'm a mom, like I know how to keep everybody clean and everybody safe. So I'm doing all of those things. And so I can't find a mistake in what we're doing to account for cross-contamination. And the only thing I can come up with is that the water isn't it's not clean for us to use it, and the air isn't clean for us to use it. And so that layers in a problem. So with that, I've gotten amazing medicine from all of my people all over the United States and my herbalists, as well as the resources down in Florida from my students that were down there that are now practitioners in their own right. And I just wanted to thank everybody for sending me Sita and Bidens and all the breathing things. It's amazing. But I'm going to do a series of those conversations about the plants that are growing here that you guys can use to help with your lungs, and Usnea is the one I'll post right after this. So I wanted you to just have a voice for that. Like if you think of it globally, like think of Standing Rock and think about the pipeline and think about water. None of us should go without clean water and clean air and a home to stay in that keeps us well and safe. That is the right of everybody, every animal, every creature, every being. So the idea around have a voice around this. Don't forget that this is happening. With all of our privilege, I can't keep us from getting sick right now. Like think of that. And it's affecting so many people, millions of people. So on top of the fact that the places that are not okay are still completely devastated, like as if it was the first day. On top of that, I'm telling you that we're not doing okay with air and water and ground. And so I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. If anyone, I've said from the beginning, I'm not going to profit off of the pictures and the resources having to do with this, like our sorrows. So if anyone wants to know anything more specific that I'm not going to post, feel free to reach out to me privately, as many of you have, and I'll give you that information privately. And so if you have any questions about specifically what's happening in certain areas or the water cleanliness and what we're experiencing on the ground versus what we're being told, not that they're lying, I just think they're mistaken. I don't think anyone's being malicious. I just think you guys aren't getting the reports of how sick everybody's getting. And so things are looking up, but we still need to not forget that everybody deserves clean water, safe housing, warm feet, and everything we can to produce that and help that. And we're still here for the long haul doing our very, very best. I'll make a post of where and what volunteers are needed in what areas, because we definitely need building volunteers. We definitely need tents, and we definitely need boots, socks, tents, and heaters. And then we'll get to it after that. So thank you so much. Fourelementschool of Traditional Medicine is how to find me. The Fourelementschool of Traditional Medicine is what our Facebook page, our new one. Remember, all of our social media got yanked, so we had to start all over. And of course, I'm on TikTok, and I post things on YouTube for free all the time, plant monographs and stuff like that. Go to any of those places to find me if you need to personally talk to me, as well as the American Herbalist Guild. I'm listed on there, and they'll be able to find me if you can't find me and you need help clinically. I really appreciate everything that everyone's done. I could not have asked for more. You guys are doing a great job supporting us. Now we need prayers and voices. Don't forget that this is happening in the United States of America. And so thank you. Have a great night.